Same sack, different, oh yeah, much heavier this time. It looks like another one of those techie things because it's got something sticking out there. Oh yeah, it is Eric Dufoy. Not actually an iPad, it's a pad of some sort. You get all sorts of information on these, do all sorts of neat things with them. You make real nice paperweights.
For those of you of a certain age.
Well, for those from another generation, I had the first church I pastored. I had a gentleman we ordained as a deacon while I was there, who had a huge computer. He had built his home, he and his brother, and it was I don't know whether you do these in Iowa or not. You don't have enough hills, but it was built into the hillside, so that they had the front, the rest of it was all covered with grass and everything. Excellent insulation. You didn't have to worry about. Didn't have to put up the pink stuff. But he was not a very techy guy. He was one of those guys who he could build a home like that or some other sort of home. Excellent handyman, carpenter. But he had a computer. I guess it had been his wife. She did understand computers and had kind of gone obsolete or broke down or something. But he had on the front door, the living room door, there sat the monitor and it was the door stop. And over on the kitchen door, there sat the tower and it was the door stop. He said that was his understanding of computers. They made good door stops. You know, when computers were first designed, I'm a science fiction fan. I don't know if any of the rest of you ever read science fiction very much or not. But this is one of the things they got wrong. When they would first come out and science fiction writers first started writing about them, the expectation was they would keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If you remember, if any of you saw 2001: A Space Odyssey, the movie, they had that entire one bank of the spaceship that was the computer HAL, and they had to go in and remove all this stuff to disable the computer. They got it wrong. Instead of getting larger and larger and larger, computers have got smaller and smaller and smaller. This little thing right here could do a whole lot more than the first computer I ever owned, which was a big thing to take up the whole table. Sometimes we have the idea that bigger is better. And very often that's contrary to what God says. Sometimes we think, we'll plan something really big, something really magnificent. And God is working in the small things, in the small details. Sometimes we want to plan big programs, and God is saying, I'm working in the small relationships. Again, I'll be preaching about relationships a little bit more later. But think about that. Realize it's not always the big things. It's the small things. The team that was here, they thanked Connie numerous times while she was here. She made sure that they had food to eat. If you're ever on a mission trip, that's a big deal. If you're on that side, that is a major thing. Connie said, that was no big deal. And that probably wasn't a big deal from her point of view. It was being faithful in the little things that made the difference. And certainly they couldn't have done what they have done. They couldn't have accomplished anything if we hadn't had the food. It takes a little bit of energy. To realize that when you work with your pads and your those phones that can do everything, that make a phone call they have out now, all those things, realize that it's not always the big thing, it's often the small thing that matters.